Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lydia Bernhardt. I'm the Family Financial Planning Certificate Coordinator here at North Carolina A&T. And we are delighted today to welcome Rianka Dorsainvil from Washington, D.C., who is a family financial planner and a CFP Pro. What is CFP, you ask? That's the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards, which is one of the top main certification groups in the country, and is also the one through which North Carolina A&T is accredited. So just to, before we start formally, just to have kind of a little touch base on where everybody is so that we can all start thinking in terms of financial planning. Exactly the name of the session is Money Talks, right? So just so to start thinking about money talking, I thought I'd start with a little 3-question quiz. Since we're back to school, not for a grade, definitely no pressure. Everybody can just vote by raising their hand, but just a little quiz. Okay, ready? Question number 1. If you had to raise $400, if you had car trouble, or if all of a sudden your books cost more than you thought they were going to, and you had to get in touch with $400 in a hurry, which would you do? Would you, A, go to the bank and withdraw money? Hands up if you would.
I need to know what my options are.
Right.
Okay.
I like that.
You might B, ask a family member or a friend for a loan. C, you might sell something. Look around and put some things together to sell or raise $400. Or D, would you go without? Just have to let it go. What do you think?
You said if you had to raise $400 for what purpose?
For any kind of purpose that you say for example, you had car trouble one day.
Car and a loan, that's two different things. I might have to do something different for a car than a loan.
Yeah, or if say you say your books, it's you enrolled in school and all of a sudden you had a big fee or bill that you didn't expect. Or that if you wanted to move into an apartment, you had to come up with a deposit. Well, the best thing to do, of course, is to be able to reach into the bank and withdraw $400. But 40% of Americans wouldn't be able to do that. They would have to either sell something or ask a friend or family member for a loan. And while that's okay if you have that resource, it's a little bit better to be able to rely on just yourself, right? So what we're aiming for is everybody to be able to have that money available to them. So A, ideally, you go to the bank and withdraw $400. Okay, question number 2. If you, true or false question for this one, winning the lottery is a good retirement strategy. Now some of you guys are at the beginning of your career, right? You're getting a degree that'll get you a job, that'll lead to a career, and you're excited about it, but at some point you're going to want to stop working, and when you do, you need money to live on. So, true or false, do you think? Winning the lottery would be a good way to do that. True? False.
Yeah.
False. It turns out winning the lottery and being struck by a meteor from outer space are about the same odds. They can be as much as 292 million to 1. Not a sure thing. You are definitely going to want to stop working and will definitely need money. So that is a sure thing. Not a good strategy. So you're right. That one's false. Question number 3. To have an estate, if you've heard the term estate, you must be worth at least $500,000.
No.
That's right. You can have any kind of amount of money and have an estate. Estate just means your stuff.
Yep.
It's your books and your clothes and your car and your laptop and anything else that you have is your stuff. That's your estate. And you don't have to be scared about the big word. You can plan for it and use it and budget for it however you want. Well, I said 3 questions, but I have one more. For those of you who don't know me, how many of you knew that North Carolina A&T has a family financial planning certificate? Very good. Yes, we do. Right here we're in the College of Agriculture and Family and Consumer Sciences. We are a 7-course, 21-hour program that prepares you to be a financial planner. And a family financial planner is a little bit different than some of the others that work for banks and corporations in that a family financial planner builds relationships with clients and talks to them on a one-on-one level about what they want to achieve and how to get there. And our curriculum helps prepare you to be a family financial planner and then sit for the Family Financial Planning Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards exam at the end of your curriculum. Today, we are lucky enough to have a certified financial planner with us, Ms. Rianka Dorsainvil from Washington, D.C. She has had a lot of success in her time. She's the founder of Your Greatest Contribution, which is an online planning firm. She is the recipient of Investment News's Rising Star Award for 2018, and she's a member of the Diversity Advisory Group at the CFP Board Center for Financial Planning. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Rianka Dorsainvil.
Well, hello. Thank you, Lydia, for that warm introduction. I am really excited to be here. Being a financial planner is, as I was sharing with Shannon, is something that is a huge responsibility, but it's so rewarding at the same time. And for North Carolina, for A&T to have this program is huge. And I hope that you continue to take advantage of it. Go through the program and finish it so you can ultimately become a financial planner. But just in case you don't know what we do or what it takes to become a CFP, hopefully after this presentation today you will know much more about it. Now I have a lot of information to share with you, so make sure you pull out your pen and pad so you can take some notes. I do have time towards the end for any questions that you may have, but if it's something burning, you just need that answer, you just raise your hand and I'm going to call on you, okay? Okay, we're good? All right. So as Lydia mentioned, I joined the profession in 2009. I have been a CFP professional since 2013. We're going to talk about what does it mean to be a CFP or a certified financial planner professional. I'm the founder and president of Your Greatest Contribution, and Your Greatest Contribution is a virtual, online, comprehensive financial planning firm, and this is where I help individuals and families. My office is actually right here in this book bag. I mentioned that I would bring it as a prop, so this is literally my office right here. I can literally do anything I want from that book bag because I work from my laptop. I meet with all of my clients via video, and it's very convenient. Location is no longer a barrier. So I have clients that are in California. I also have a client that's in Italy as well. So it's pretty fun, and I really like what I do. And prior to me launching my firm, I worked with a couple other wealth management firms. I think that's important to share, that I didn't just graduate and then start my own financial planning firm. I worked with one firm for about 5 years. It's an RIA, or Registered Investment Advisory firm, and I'll talk about the different pathways into becoming a financial planner. So I worked for one for about 5 years, and then another for a little over a year, and then after that, I launched my own firm. I'm the creator and host of 2050 Trailblazers. Who in here listens to podcasts? Okay, all right. You said maybe a little bit, okay. Well, download 2050 Trailblazers, and then you're going to be hooked, and then you're going to be like, yes, I listen to podcasts. So 2050 Trailblazers, I'm the type of person where I'm not just a complainer. If it's something that I see that I can do, I do something about it. So 2050 Trailblazers is a podcast that directly discuss the diversity and inclusion around personal financial planning and, the career and financial services. And I bring on industry experts who talk about, ways to make a measurable impact, to bring more students into the profession. Let's talk about career paths. Let's talk about stories. And sometimes there is a difference, with everyone's career path. But how can we make it a more inclusive profession? And we talk about it, and we don't use code words. So it's a really real podcast. And it's really good, not just because I host it, but I bring on some really good guests. So check it out. I'm the past national president and chair of the Financial Planning Association Next Gen Community. And the Next Gen Community is for financial planners or financial advisors age 36 and under. So being a young professional or being, a young professional in the financial service industry, you have so much support. Like, you're going to have your A&T Aggies, right? You're going to have your peers, but then you're going to have such a larger community as well that's going to be there to support you. And that's what the FPA Next Gen Community is. I'm also a part of some other things. Member of the Diversity Advisory Group at the CFP Board Center for Financial Planning, bringing more students in, bringing more people of color in, and bringing more women is something that is a huge commitment to the CFP Board. And so those are some of the things that we discussed for the advisory group and the I'm a CFP Pro campaign. Again, you can't be what you can't see, right? So the I'm a CFP Pro campaign launched back in 2017, and it is a campaign that shares a day in my life, a day in Brittany Castro's life, a day in Justin Sullivan's life, of just sharing that, debunking the myths of typically what you think a financial planner does or a financial advisor does, and also showcases that you can be a young, successful financial planner, in this profession. And it focuses on people of color because when you think of a financial advisor, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but when you think of a financial advisor, like, what do you typically think of? I know. Me too.
I guess my view, through the social media, that was a little bit different.
Okay.
Some people I follow are women of color, but
Good.
Before I got into this field, I wouldn't see us.
Right. So same for me too. I didn't know, one, that you can actually have a career in financial planning, and yet alone did I see someone who looked like me. So again, the Center for Financial Planning, the CFP board, says this is something that is really important, and so they put a whole campaign behind it. So we can show students like you that we're actually live human beings, and we're successful, and we're women, and we're people of color, and you can be successful too. So here are some of the things I'm going to discuss today. Trust me, we'll get through it. No worries. All right, the importance of financial planning. So before you came to A&T, did you know that there was a personal financial planning courses? No? Okay. Before you came to A&T, did you know you could have a career in financial planning? Me either. So I went to Virginia Tech, and I had no idea what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. I was a first generation college student at the time, and so my family just thought they made it once they dropped me off in Blacksburg, Virginia. So, little did they know I had 4 long years, right, left to, kind of figure out what is it that I want to do. They thought it was a success for me going to college. So I leaned on something that I felt very comfortable with, and I was very comfortable with math. It just so happens that I'm comfortable with math. You don't have to be perfect in math to be a financial planner, but it just so happened that I was a really good math person. So I majored in math, and then I took a couple courses, and a couple of years later, vector geometry calculus. That was one class. Yeah, I know, that was my face too. I was like, yeah, this doesn't work for me. So I started taking elective courses where I tried to figure out what is it that I want to do. And then I stumbled upon a course called, I think it was like Personal Finance 101. This is where we learned about credit scores, credit reports, how your credit scores are derived, student loans, the difference between subsidized and unsubsidized student loans, and 6 months after you graduate, you got to start paying them things back. Disability insurance, estate planning. Like, my mind was blown away. After that semester, after taking that course, I went up to the professor. I was like, hey, can I take more classes like this? And then he was like, we have a whole curriculum around personal financial planning. So just like here in A&T, you have a whole curriculum around personal financial planning, where for me, I got a general notion of personal finances. And then I got a chance to dig into the courses. So within the courses, you're going to learn about general financial planning, insurance planning and risk management, estate planning, retirement planning, investments, income tax planning, and employee benefits. The one thing I loved about, learning this while I was in school was that not only was this information, the is it going to benefit my career? But it was actually impacting me as a student, because I was learning about student loans. I was learning about, estate planning and retirement planning. I was going back, during breaks, having conversations with my mom and aunt about 401ks. Are you deferring some, money to your 401ks? Now, if they listen to me or not, that's one thing. But I was sharing the good knowledge of personal finance. So that's what financial planning is. And so the benefits of financial planning, just like I shared, you honestly take the guesswork out of managing your finances. You're creating short-term and long-term goals, not only for yourself, but with your clients as well. Avoiding, sometimes you can't avoid debt, but if you find yourself in debt, like student loans, we all have student loans, that's inevitable. But how to pay them back and how to pay them back responsibly, and how to manage that, as well as managing other life decisions that you have to make. And overall, you just having a peace of mind once you do your own personal finances. And then when you're helping clients, they just, have a sigh of relief once you go through, this process. So what I'm going to show you next is what a day in my life looked like. As I mentioned before, I'm a part of the I'm a CFP Pro campaign. So there's a video like this for me, and then also for Justin and Brittany. I encourage you to look at that as well, because this is just one day in the life of mine. But there's, other people's days look different, but this is mine. I love being a CFP professional because I am making a tangible impact in individuals and families every single day. I am looking over my calendar. I have quite a few meetings today. Let's talk about the B word. Let's talk about the budget. And I love to help my clients achieve their goals. We're pinky promising that we're gonna get it. You got it? All right. So I love having a virtual firm because I could literally work from anywhere on the planet. Being a financial planner, it allows you to build the work-life balance that you want. It really depends on the life you want to live and the balance that you want to have. So really, it's up to you. My very, very favorite certification is my Certified Financial Planner certification. I passed it, and it was the second most happiest day of my life. The first one was when I married my best friend. The financial planning profession, it's more than just about numbers. Actually, it's about building relationships. So I'm about to meet with my mentee. So I'm a mentor to a younger financial planner in the profession. I really appreciate it. Wasn't for you, I wanted to become a CFP. I just became one in August, so yeah. Yeah, congratulations. Professionals who are interested into transitioning into the financial planning profession, or students who want to have a fulfilled career. And when you wake up every day that you're living the life that you want to live, and then ultimately bettering our society, then this is the career that they want to have. I've been able to expose my family and my community to what is a CFP professional, what we do, and especially with my Nana, she didn't have the financial knowledge. And so when it came time for her to spend the last golden years of her life, so to say, just relaxing, she was ill and sick and worried about finances. At that point in time, I vowed and dedicated my career to her so that another family do not have to witness that when it comes to finances. That's why. My name is Rianka Dorsainvil, and I am a CFP professional. So that's my life. That last part always gets me. Nana. So as you can see, there's a lot of myths around financial advisors. I know when I first learned about financial advising or financial advisors, the only thing I thought about was investments. I'm like, you just deal with investments, right? And though
investing is a component of it, though numbers is a component of it. I mean, you have to know what you're doing. You have to have that foundation, that technical foundation. But that's what you're learning here at A&T. Really, to be a successful financial advisor, you have to have the people skills. Like, you have to care about helping other people. Like, that's what makes a really good financial advisor. That's what makes a really good financial planner. I was up there pinky promising to my client, like, are you going to stick to this budget? And, you know, I was up there pinky promising with her. She didn't break her pinky promise. I'm happy to say she fulfilled her budget and all that good stuff. So as you can see, it's a people-focused profession. And as far as like the job market, let me tell you, the financial planning profession is booming, and it is looking for young talent. There are more CFPs, certified financial planners, over the age of 70 than there are under the age of 30. So what did you think's gonna happen to those 70-year-olds? They ain't gonna retire, and they need someone to leave their business to, right? Right. So there's a huge just shortage in young talent. Honestly, there's a huge talent pipeline that we're trying to fill, and I so hope we can fill it with some students from A&T. As I mentioned before, there's multiple pathways to becoming a financial planner. My personal pathway was the top one. I was at a registered investment advisory firm, or RIA. Now, with any career, there's going to be a whole bunch of acronyms. Don't get scared, because CFP, CPA, is a whole bunch of acronyms. So RIA, registered investment advisory. And here, you don't learn or know about the RIA space because we're not that big. I grew up in the RIA space. The firm I was with for about 5 years, I think the most people we had was 15. And that was considered a large firm, 15 people. We managed over like $400 million in assets. We worked with 200 families. So to us, that was huge. The wirehouses, the banks, you probably have heard of Morgan Stanley, you've probably heard of Merrill Lynch. I mean, you know about them because they have the money for commercials and all of that. But so that's a pathway. Also direct channels, Vanguard, USAA is doing a huge hiring campaign because they want more CFPs. And so there's no shortage of jobs, I'll tell you that much, in the financial planning world. And not only do you get to pinky promise to make sure that your clients are, keeping up with their budget and not breaking their promises, and you feel good about helping people, it's also a rewarding career financially as well. And that's a real number. It's a huge opportunity for people of color, okay? There are clients specifically who reach out to me because I'm a woman. And there are clients specifically who reach out to me because I'm a woman of color, and they want to work with me. There are clients specifically looking at the leadership at firms and seeing, are they diverse or not? And so there is a huge opportunity for the growth in diversity in the personal finance space. There's not a lot of us. I'll tell you the truth, there's not a lot of us. But the few that there are, we are very supportive of one another. I'll tell you, this is a community that wants to lift as we climb. It's not just in the song, like it's in this profession as well. So, and then there are organizations as well that, like the Association of African American Financial Advisors, that are here to support you as a student. Just like trade organizations like FPA, the Financial Planning Association, and NAPFA, the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors. I told you there's gonna be a lot of acronyms, but there are a lot of opportunities. The dynamic of the United States is changing. By the year 2050, the minority population will be the majority. And our profession has to reflect the clients in which we are serving. And so again, there's just a huge pull to get more people of color into this profession. So what is the CFP certification? Like, what is it? It's awarded by this Certified Financial Planning Board of Standards. It's been in existence for more than 40 years. There's some more bullet points there, but the one point that I do want to make is that in the United States, there are more than 300,000, last time I checked, more than 300,000 folks out there who call themselves a financial advisor. You know, that's their title, financial planner, financial advisor. Okay. Out of the 300,000, only 81,000 hold the mark of a CFP. And so consumers, clients, they are calling and saying, hey, yes, I'm looking for a financial advisor. Okay, check, you're a financial advisor. Okay, are you a CFP? No? Okay, well, thank you. It's nice talking to you. Click. They want to work with the cream of the crop. Wouldn't you? Right? For your family finances, you don't just want anyone throwing up their shingle. Hey, I'm a financial advisor. No, you want someone who goes through a rigorous program like at A&T, go through the coursework, pass the exam, have the experience, and then put those marks by their name. That's the type of person I know I want to work with when it comes to finances. So that's what it means to be a CFP. So how to become? Well, you're going through one of the 4 E's now. So there's 4 E's when it comes to calling yourself a financial or certified financial planner: education, experience, exam, and ethics. So the education you're receiving now. The experience, so you have to have at least 3 years of working experience in order to hold the marks of CFP. Just like in calling yourself a doctor, right? They have to go through a residency. For us, we have to have 3 years of experience. And then there's also a 2-year apprenticeship. I'm not too familiar with that. I went through the 3 years of experience. And then the exam. So the exam, back in my day, and I'm not, it wasn't too long ago, but when I took the exam, it was a 2-day, 10-hour exam. I know. 2-day, 10 hours. Now it's a 1-day, 6-hour exam. And when I took it, we had an actual pencil. Now it's just online. So just because it's shorter, it doesn't make the exam easier. Now, this is probably one of the hardest exams you'll probably ever take, even beyond school. Like, this is probably one of the hardest exams. And it's hard because it wants to weed out people who are really serious. Because when you bring on a family, an individual, as a financial planner, you're responsible. Like, you become that trusted source. They call you before they call anyone else when making decisions. They call you before they call Nana. They call you before they call their mom or dad. Like, they call you. And so you want to make sure that, we want to make sure that you're really serious. And this is the exam. It's not easy, but there's resources out there that we can talk about to get you through it. Again, that's why in that video, it was the second best, happiest day of my life when I found out I passed that exam. And then ethics. So after you pass the exam, after you get your experience, you have your education, before you put the marks behind your name, you have to adhere to a certain level of ethics as a financial planner. Just like with any board certified program or profession, you have to adhere to a certain level of ethics. And so you just have to say yes. And we have to take a 2-hour ethics course every time we get recertified, just to make sure we stay up to date with what the ethics are. And education requirements, this is something that you are going through now here at A&T. Resources. There are a ton of resources. So we definitely don't want finances to be a barrier for you to become a financial planner. And so there are multiple scholarships. There's only a few listed here now, but you can go to centerforfinancialplanning.org/scholarships to learn more about it. I see some pictures being taken, so I'm gonna just pause. And before I move on, I want to just put another plug for the trade organizations that are out there. The Financial Planning Association has a diversity scholarship that they award every year to go to annual conferences, to go to a program called Retreat, to go through a program called Residency. The Quad A, the Association of African American Financial Advisors, they're starting the scholarship through their foundation. So yeah, there's a lot of resources out there. So finances, time, we don't want that to be a barrier for you to become a certified financial planner or to stay in the profession. There's mentoring programs. So you can go to cfp.net/career-center to find out more about that. The candidate forum, so after you go through the education program and you're in the workforce and you are, about to sit for the exam and you're going through the process of becoming a CFP, you're called a candidate. And so here is where you can, very similar to, Blackboard? Is that what it's called? Like where you can talk amongst each other, like online. Very similar, but just for people who are focused and interested in financial planning. And the Career Center, there's a whole job board specifically just for you, for internships, for jobs when you graduate. Again, there's a lot of resources to make you successful. Okay, any questions? That's all I had. Yes. So every 2 years. So once you get certified, like once you pass the exam, you don't have to take the exam again, but you have to renew every 2 years. So once you get it the first time, once you are certified, every other year you have to have 30 continuing education credits. So this is when you go to conferences. This is where you take online courses so that you can, just stay up to date with what's going on, like the tax law changes and the state changes. So every 2 years, but you don't have to take the exam again. Just one and done. Any other questions?
The experience, they have to be specifically in the financial.
Yep, specifically in financial planning. So this is where your internships. I found my internship through going to a conference. So as a student, I volunteered it was called Schwab, so Charles Schwab. They have a conference every year called Impact. And I volunteered with my school, and I went and I was talking to some of the professionals there, and I asked them, I was like, hey, so do y'all have an internship program? They were like, yes. I was like, oh, tell me more about it. After I spoke with them, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like their firm. And so they told me more about it, and then I went through the interview process, and I got an internship. So that was fun. But yeah, so you have to have specific experience within financial planning. So building out financial plans. Mm-hmm. Any questions over here? No. You ask away, honey. Don't you be shy.
So I was looking online, and there was a forum going on, but it was a debate between the CFAs and the CFPs.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing about it was some of the CFAs were talking about how they felt like paying fees or whatever for the certification for the worship. So how does that play as far as the
Yeah, that's a good question. So, so there's different. So it depends on what you want to do. So a CFA is a chartered financial analyst, and so financial analysts really aren't doing financial planning. They're probably just solely working in investments. And so while you can have the CFA, yeah. Do they want to pay to become a CFP? I think that's on them. I mean, if you're not actually doing financial planning and doing, the comprehensive financial planning for your clients, maybe no, it doesn't make sense. But for those who are specifically looking to work with a financial planner or financial advisor, consumers are looking for CFPs. They're not looking for CFAs. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, I think that's an individual preference. I know a couple of CFAs who are also CFPs, but they are financial planners. The expertise is in investments, but they're financial planners. You just come on up here, honey. She did her research. I like it.
But all right, I think I got over to the right thing. So I know that for the certification that there's different like specifications that you can get. So I was looking up one, I think it was charter. It was dealing with seniors. So you take some course and it specifically helps you work with like seniors in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other question was
Okay. Okay. So in the world of financial services, the financial service industry, there are an alphabet of designations. The number one is CFP. Period. Honestly. Yeah. So yeah, there are specific ones where it's like, oh, you can be a certified wealth manager. You can be and because I'm being recorded, I'm not going to show my bias right now. So so talk to me after. So I'll just say that, but I'll talk more specifically about other designations.
My other question, I think, just you in general answer, because your business is virtual. So I was looking online, of course, I always look at stuff where it says like where you make the items. So online it was saying how you live like in big cities like New Jersey, but you kind of your business being virtual takes all of that out of the period that you can work with wherever it is.
Yeah. And it didn't start off that way, right? So yes, you can earn a ton living in California. Yes, you can earn a ton living in New York, but your rent is going to be $3,000 a month. So I hope you earn enough to pay your rent, so you have to take cost of living and have that cost of living adjustment and put that, just take that into account as well. But yes, again, though my firm is virtual now, and though I meet with my clients via video now, I worked in a wealth management firm in Bethesda, Maryland for about 5 years. Then I worked for another one in Rockville, Maryland for about another year and a half. And then I transitioned out on my own. And now I work with clients everywhere. So yeah. And that was a personal preference for me, like who I wanted to work with and all that stuff. But I wouldn't recommend going off straight after you graduate A&T and opening up your own business, because the reason why I'm so confident in the work that I do with my clients and the work that I do for my clients is because I worked with senior advisors for 6 years, and they taught me literally everything that I know. So I definitely recommend going in and working for a company. Any other questions? Looks like we got some parents in the house. What's up, parents? Dropping them off?
Bringing them stuff.
Bringing them stuff. Oh, okay.
So at the end of the courses for the financial planning, it's like a capstone, and that would consist of like, what would I do in that capstone?
I think all the capstone classes are the same. So, do you want to talk more about that, Lydia?
Well, yes, and as you can probably tell them also, it presents scenarios. It uses the other information you've learned in the 6 classes before, and then you can work through it as though you're actually counseling a client, as though your experience, as though you could have a scenario that you work through using your previous knowledge to arrive at a conclusion, so that you can kind of role play being a financial planner out in the world.
So it's something kind of like an internship in that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a class, not exactly an internship, but it's the type of thing you practice in
an internship. Yes, yeah. So yes, before I graduated, I had to take a capstone class. Our clients were called the Betos, Mr. and Mrs. Beto, and they had a whole bunch of stuff going on. And something dealing with life insurance, something dealing with their retirement planning, something dealing with their budget. They had 2 young children. So we had to take literally everything that we learned in all of the 6 courses and build a financial plan for them, and then we had to deliver it. It sounds scary, but it's not, because you're gonna have everything you need for the, to pass that capstone class. So it's gonna be fine. It's fun.